days before Christmas. I don't celebrate Christmas, but I would only love and hope that every single Jamaican that have a beef with another Jamaican, please, man, think about it. Think about your actions. Think about what you're gonna do before you do it. Think of the consequences. Think of the consequences of what you're gonna do, because guess what? Earth are run red. It's bitter out there. It's slippery out there. We need help. I call upon the creator of all heaven and earth to come down. I call upon the almighty God of all God to come down. I call upon his imperial majesty. I call upon El Shaddai. I call upon Yahweh. I call upon Allah. I call upon Buddha. I call upon every spiritual body. I call upon all our ancestors that have been slain to intervene in a Jamaica and repair this beautiful country. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the People's Forum of In the Streets with Big Stone. Today, ladies and gentlemen, my topic is a very serious one. My topic affects and concerns every single Jamaican, those that live here in this island and those that live abroad. Whether you live in the United States or in England or in Canada or in Africa, I would only hope that this message reaches out to you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I come in the name of His Imperial Majesty. I come in the name of Jesus Christus. I come in the name of Elohim. I come in the name of Allah. I come in the name of El Shaddai. I come in the name of Buddha. I come in the name of every single person or being, that every single person that worship. I come in those names because I'm not taking side today, ladies and gentlemen. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about my island. This little piece of the rock, this little piece that we call the pearl of the Caribbean. We've seen a lot of bloodletting. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to split justice because I'm not a judge. I'm not here as a pastor. Jamaica, we are faced with hard times. We're faced with hard times. And only us can get ourselves out of this predicament that we're in. Jamaica, we're fighting a war among ourselves. And I understand that there are misunderstanding. I understand that there are conflict. I understand that there are people that don't have any respect for others. I understand. And there are others that said we're not going to put up with this disrespect. I understand that one side fight against the other. I understand that there are casualties on both sides, deaths on both sides. I understand because I've been there. I've been invited to many funerals, and I've seen how some of my Jamaican people behave. When there's a funeral and you lose a loved one and you know you'll never ever see that loved one again, and you know that someone who is responsible for taking that loved one's life, and I know that in your heart you want revenge. I understand. But ladies and gentlemen, when we do go searching for revenge, do we generally get the people who are responsible? 95% of the time we don't. We get innocent people, people that don't even know nothing about what is going on. Nothing, absolutely nothing. They don't even have a clue. We heard babies in the stomach. We heard babies that are just born. We heard toddlers. We heard teenagers. We heard young boys and young girls and people that could make a difference in this country. They've lost their lives, ladies and gentlemen. And lost their lives to what? When we look at the statistic, ladies and gentlemen, the crime rate, how many people have lost their lives in the last, let's go back 10 years. And we say 1,000 people lost their lives every year. It's way more than that, ladies and gentlemen. But we're just hypothetically speaking, 1,000 people have lost their lives every year for the last 10 years. That is 10,000 people. Do you know how much loved ones are out there grieving? Grieving? Do you know? Ladies and gentlemen, when I asked the question, and I said to myself, I went to a particular community, and I'm not going to call no name, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm not a judge. I'm not here to split justice because I don't know who's right or who's wrong. I'm not here as a politician because I'm not looking for votes. I'm not here because I'm a Christian, because I'm not trying to win souls. I'm here because I'm a concerned Jamaican, and I love each and every one of you, and I want the best for my country. I'm here because I love you, all of you. And I asked the question in this volatile community, ladies and gentlemen, and I guess possibly it's the same for all communities. And the question I asked was, do you know what started this conflict in the first place? Now here's this community, ladies and gentlemen, that have been at odds for the last 40 years. 40 years they've been fighting back and forth. Sometimes there's a peace lull for 2-3 years, 5 years sometimes, and then it goes right back to the original. And I asked the question, I said, ladies and gentlemen, I said, what caused the war? I asked a 20-year-old young man, what caused the war in the first place? And he looked at me and he said, you know, I really don't know. I said, you don't know? I said, I really don't know. I went to the other communities and I asked, I said, what started the war between that side and the other side? And nobody could really tell me. They're only telling me about what's rekindled the fire. Now, yes, they say, well, Johnny Brown come up there when I like him and look for me like him a pre-me, or Johnny Brown do that, or Johnny Brown do this, or that, or that. But they cannot tell what caused the war to begin with. That is sad. I understand that people have lost loved ones. People have lost loved ones on both sides. But when will it end? Can we not stand to reason? What are we doing as outsiders? Jamaicans on the outside, what are you doing for your country? John F. Kennedy asked the question, he said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. We keep fighting and we keep fighting, and we beg to ask the question, what are we fighting for? What is this big war about? Simple little things make us want to kill somebody. Simple things as looking at somebody and you mistaking that for a prey. Simple things cause us to do that. Why we can't understand, and why can't the older folks or the sensible folks? Because we know we have intelligent gangsters. There are intelligent gangsters out there with O levels and A levels. We have these gangsters out there. Some of these brothers are some bright brothers. How can we get to this? How did we get to this where we cannot reason our differences out? How? And I asked the question, what are we doing? Cannot both parties come together and stop playing politics with the people's life and come together and save this country? People are dying in this country. People are dying every day. 5, 6, 7 Jamaicans are dying. And everybody just sit by like it's okay. Like it's okay. How can it be okay when youths are dying, women are dying, children are dying? How can it be okay? It cannot be okay. I know the history of this country. Yes, we started off with bloodshed in the days of slavery, in the days where our ancestors had to fight for freedom. So we understand those bloodshed. We understand that over 10,000 people were killed in St. Thomas during the Marin Bay Rebellion. We understand the Christmas Day massacre led by Sam Shaw. We understand that. We understand the war between the French and the Spanish. We understand those wars. We understand the wars of Nani and the Maroons and the British. We understand those wars. but we cannot understand the war that is happening right now in this country. There's a war going on, and we fail to agree and admit that there's a war going on. There has to be a war going on. 119, some of the most sophisticated weapons was found recently. Numerous amount of barrels and guns have been intercepted. What about the ones that are going through? What are they doing here? What are they doing here in this island? 2.8 million people. What are we doing? We need to stop. We need to look into ourselves, man. And I know every single Jamaican is experiencing, as the day progresses, more and more loved ones being slaughtered in the streets. Jamaica, you're great. You're one of the greatest countries in the Western Hemisphere. You're one of the greatest countries on the planet Earth. There's a lot of blood that was spilled on this island the other day. I was talking to a woman from Ghana. I did a video about a dungeon, a slave dungeon that existed over 300 years, that used to have slaves packed in there for distribution. And ladies and gentlemen, when I spoke to this lady, you know what she told me? She said the blood of our ancestors, the spirit of our ancestors, the souls of our ancestors are roaming this island. Remember, she said, they were killed brutally, beheaded, chopped up, slain, all kind of negative things was done to these people. And their souls and their spirit are roaming through the islands. And not until we pay respect and homage, not until we respect those that have gone before us, will this bloodletting stop. We need to stop this, Jamaica. Yes, we need to stop this. We need to stop this, Jamaica. And I really have to say this, that we need a national outcry. We need every single Jamaican to get up off of your butt. Stand up. Take this thing serious. They say grab the bull by the horn. Reason with some of them youth here. Don't be scared, because guess what? If you're scared, you're going to face the brunt of the gun. If you're scared to talk to somebody you know, you might not be able to talk the next time around that you see them. So now is the time for us to spring into action. Now is the time for us to show our solidarity with each other. Now is the time to bury our differences. Families are killing families in some of these communities. When I do the research, ladies and gentlemen, 60% of what is going on in Jamaica is between people who are related to each other, people who know each other. 70%, 80% of the stuff that is happening, they know each other. What could have caused one person to come up so wickedly against the other as to kill that person?